Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to this brand new webinar from H-Filtration. So first of all, thank you again. And as usual, for those of you who don't know yet, I give you just a small rule to follow during the webinar. As usual, we will mute your microphone, so your microphone will stay muted. And if you have, and when you want to ask some question, just use the chat below, the chat button below. You write down the question, and then my colleague Martina will ask the question out loud, and one of us, will be myself or one of my colleagues, will be pleased to answer to your question. So first of all, as I was saying, this brand new webinar from H-Filtration. Today the focus is on one of our business units. The other day we spoke about the oil mix part. Today we focus on the dust and dry smoke business unit. Okay, just a second. I think we have a small technical problem today. I'm sorry, but today we have internet connection which is quite bad. Okay, now it should be up again. So sorry again, guys, but in this period that it can happen that lines are overused, and so sometimes we can have internet connection problem. So as I was saying, today the focus is on the dust and dry smoke business unit. We will talk about, now here we have our Pulsatron Compact ATEX, the ATEX version, but obviously we will speak about the family of the Pulsatron Compact, and we will try to see in detail what should be done in terms of maintenance. So we will follow, this is, let's say, just to follow the series of the maintenance tips that we can give you to try and keep a correct use of the filter, and try to have a longer life of the filter, of the cartridges, and everything related to it, so all the process inside. Also, I will show you some of the components of the filter. As I was saying, here we have the Pulsatron Compact ATEX version that, let's say, it could be considered the most complete version, because we have different accessories. Okay, so obviously it is a filter that is certified for ATEX for let's say environment where is the risk of explosion. So we have to provide many important many important accessories. Sorry if you see me that I stop, it's because we have some problems. Okay, let's stop. I don't see if you hear me. I think that you don't see me, but you should hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Gianni.
Okay, yeah, can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's keep going. I will resume what I was saying. I was saying that we will talk about the components also, of course, and basically I will show. It's not going. Mi sta chiamando Paolo, spizzato pure, non so perché. Okay, guys, let's stop. I think it's better if we stop 5 minutes. We can go. Okay. Sorry, but the connection is really unstable. Let's try one more time. If there are some more problems, maybe it's better if we stop 5 minutes and we try to figure out what's going on. If you don't hear me, if you don't see me, just tell me, unmute your microphone, just tell me something, okay? I will resume. So let's talk about Pulsatron, okay? That's why I will try to be quicker, maybe, so to use lower connection. So let's say that this kind of filter can be resumed as composed by the 3 main parts, okay? So we start from the upper part with the lower part, sorry, the lower body, where you have, let's say, the dusty part, okay? This is the part where you find the cartridges, where you find, oh, sorry, okay? So now, well, sorry, one thing that I was forgetting to tell you, how to open this panel. Here in the ATEX version, we have to use this kind of screws, okay, just to ensure better closure of the panel. In the standard version, you have a different kind of system to open it, which is obviously easier. Here you just need to use a wrench, but it's anyway easy enough to open it. Now, okay, so once we have opened this part, sorry, you have my back, okay? You can see that we have the cartridges inside. Here, this model is the 4 cartridge filter, right? So let's say that our filter, they can be considered as modular systems. So we think of them as systems that can be added together. So we have the 4 cartridges, 8 cartridges, and so on. So we think of step by step as 4 cartridges at a time. So one module basically is composed by a 4 cartridge filter. Here you have, so as I was saying, let's say the dusty part is where you have the dust coming inside, let's say the flow coming inside, and the flow goes upwards, okay? I'm telling you this because it's really important, the direction of the flow, because you will see why I'm telling you this when I will speak about the system of cleaning, of auto cleaning of the cartridges. So just keep in mind that the flow goes upwards, okay? It's quite intuitive, but it's worth saying it. So stream goes upwards, and obviously here you have all the parts where the dust is collected, okay? Here you have the hopper, and then you have the bin where the dust is collected. Here, as you can see, we have removed the bin where the dust is collected. I suggest, in a maintenance point of view, to check on a daily basis the bin, obviously, because it's important that it should be not too full, let's say, because if it's full, you can imagine that you can have problems in terms of aspiration and in terms of many problems in terms of the performance of the filter. So one other thing that we have here is the rotary valve, okay? Just to tell you what it is, here is a system to auto discharge the dust, because some cases you can have a high load of dust, you can have a high concentration of dust, so it can be useful to have this accessory, to have this rotary valve, so that you can have an automatic continuous discharge of the dust, and you don't have to go on a daily basis there and just take charge of the unloading of the dust. So this is the first part of the filter. Now going upwards, I open this, okay? It's the same way to open it in this version, okay? Just slowly and gently open it. Now here, this is one of the, well, in my view, the most important part in terms also of the maintenance part, because here we have the cleaning system, okay? So here you have electro valves, and we have one electro valve for each cartridge. So what does an electro valve do? An electro valve basically, with a stream that goes downward, so as I refer to what I was saying before, the stream of the flow of the filter goes upwards, while the flow of the cleaning system goes the opposite direction. So we call it a pulse jet, which clean the system in the opposite direction. So this is basically obviously controlled by I will explain to you a little bit later about the cyclic or by the pressure differential. But just for the moment, keep in mind that this is the part where the cartridges get automatically cleaned, okay? And then we'll show you now. I'm short, but I think that I can do it, okay? Okay, just the third part, which is the upper part of the filter, and you have the ventilator part where you have the fan, and you obviously here we can have different kind of motors, different kind of fans, different kind of powers in terms of kilowatts, so that you can have different performances in terms of flow rate, airflow, sorry, and in terms obviously also depending on the pressure drop that you have on the system, and so the hydraulic head needed for the ventilators to give a good performance and to have what the objective and the goal is of the filter. Okay, so basically this is the heart of the filter. These are as we can say the three main parts of the filter. Now would like to show you this part of the filter where we have some other things, some other accessories. Well, obviously here, as I was saying to you, this is the 8X version. So here you find the fire extinguishing system, which basically, obviously, it's needed in some cases because we are talking about an environment where the explosion can happen. So sometimes explosion can lead to fire as well. So just to avoid to have such a problem, we can provide also the accessory of a fire extinguishing system. This works also thanks to temperature probes, which obviously gives the signal of alarms and pre-alarms that allows this system to prevent fires. Obviously, nobody wants to have fires in their company. So obviously, this is something that can be useful in some cases. And obviously, we have also the electrical part. So all the parts that, let's say, the electrical panel and all the electrical control for the filter. Now, I would like to spend just a couple of words regarding how the electro valves are used and how they work. Now here we have different ways of using the electro valve. The first way is with the cyclic timer. So the electro valves get activated only with time, basically. So there's a timer which activates the electro valves, as I was saying before, for the cleaning of the cartridges. Now, what we suggest, obviously, is that you can use also a pressure differential to have the cleaning, the electro valves cleaning activated. So what they can do, they can get activated only when there's a pressure differential, a difference in terms of pressure, which gets higher of some values. So basically, when, as you can imagine, when the cartridge gets clogged and more clogged, obviously the pressure in the difference in terms of pressure, sorry, gets higher. So it means that the cartridge is getting clogged and clogged and clogged. So by this value, the electro valves can get activated. So this is obviously some kind of thing that can be helpful in terms of a maintenance point of view. And I will show you later also that we have the visual part of this pressure differential. We will show you also the color, but we will see it later. One more thing that we can show you is the back part of the filter, where you have the vent panel. Again, this is a part that obviously is there because we are talking about the 8X version, the Pulsatron 8X version. Obviously, it helps you to well, it's needed to release the overpressure when there is an explosion. Okay, I will show you just quickly. Also, I will close here. Okay, and I go and I move there. Okay. Talking about the vent panel, I wanted to show you also the explosion relief valve, which basically is, let's say, alternative to the vent panel, because you can use either this valve or the vent panel. So let's say that depending on many factors. Now there are many factors. It depends on the type of the pipe, type of the powder. Sorry. It depends on the installation, if it's indoor or outdoor. But anyway, you need to just keep in mind that you have also this kind of possibility, that is the explosion relief valve. Okay. Now, one thing that I wanted to show you, I don't know if from there you can see the LED, okay, that I was mentioning. Okay. In terms of the pressure differential, before starting to visually show you how to put a cartridge and how to maintain the electro valve, I was talking about pressure differential. An accessory which we really strongly suggest is to have the DP, what we call the DP LED. What does it do? It helps you to have a visual idea of what is going on in terms of pressure differential inside the filter. So you have this DP LED in the front of the filter. where you can have basically 3 colors. It's quite easy and intuitive. The red one, the yellow one, and the green one. Obviously, if you have the green light, as you can see here, it means that the pressure differential is not reaching, let's say, dangerous levels. So the filter is working properly. Pressure differential is okay, and everything is fine. But what can give you the idea about is when you, sorry, again, I think that there's some technical problems. Sorry again, is unstable the connection. Sorry guys, sorry again. Wait, I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, now it should be back, and we get back on track. So I was talking about the DP LED, so that you have the visual idea of what's going on in terms of pressure differential. Honestly, we strongly suggest to have this kind of item because it's really helpful in terms of a maintenance point of view. So green light, okay, everything is fine, no problem in terms of pressure differential, and you can be quite okay at the moment. But then when you have the yellow light, of course, there is it gives you the let's say it's some kind of suggestion to start organize a maintenance on the filter. Okay, so it means that the pressure differential is increasing. It means that the cartridges are getting clogged in a dangerous, let's say, way for the performance on the filter. So you should start thinking of a maintenance to do on the filter. So you should schedule a maintenance. And when it reaches the red light, it means that you have some problems. It means that you can have problems in terms of the clogging state of the filter, but it can also, or the cartridges, sorry, but it can also give you sorry again, guys. Okay, but it can also give you the idea, give you the point that there's some kind of problem going on with the electro valves, okay? Because one other key point for the maintenance point of view is also the electro valves, okay? Because here, I will show you now how the cartridges are put inside the filter. How does it work? You have simply these things, okay, that goes inside the cartridge, and there is the panel on the top where you should put it here, okay? And now I will show you the lower part of this panel here. It's where the cartridge needs to be stuck, and it's important to put it, okay? I will show it again because I think you did, okay? So here, the panel here, okay? What you should do, you have to put, imagine that this is on the filter, okay? Here, you have to put the cartridge in a proper way so that the gasket here, okay? So that the gasket here is completely sealed on the panel, okay? So that the cartridge can work properly. And then with, okay, I know that the connection is unstable, but try to understand that there are some problems on the line. And then with these parts, you can screw and unscrew in order to fix properly and to let the gasket get sealed on the panel, okay? Now, another key point is the electro valves, because here, I will show you how the electro valves as a diaphragm inside, okay? So a key point also in terms of a maintenance point of view, it is, of course, the electro valves. Why? Because it can happen, obviously, that you can have problems also in the electro valves. It's not only the cartridges that gets clogged and that needs to be changed, that you should take an eye on, but also the electro valves, because there is this diaphragm that goes, let's say, I will tell you in an easy way, goes up and down. And the problem is that when you have, for instance, the compressed air, which is not pure, which you have impurities, which you have maybe some oil, or maybe it's a wet air, you can have problems Okay, guys, again, for the connection, I don't know if you hear me. It's really, I know.
We hear you, Gianni.
Okay, but do you see me?
No, and now, yes, we can see you.
Okay, okay. So you should see now the diaphragm, which is inside the electrovalve. This here, you should take care of this diaphragm, because obviously their purpose is to clean the cartridges, but you can imagine if there is some problems in the compressed air line, they will do, let's say, the opposite. So you can also have some problems if you have a problem on the compressed air line and in terms of the cleaning system. So sometimes it happens that you can have some impurities inside, and you hear, basically the sound is different, because when it's working properly, there is a kind of sound. Obviously, it's not easy to describe the sound, but when it's not working properly, and let's say that there is some impurities inside, there is some dust, for instance, so can have anything, something that can prevent the correct functioning of the electromats. You will hear like a blowing. You will hear like there is some air always going out, okay, from the dampener that you have there. So this is obviously a key part from a maintenance point of view. And so I put it back. And one more thing that I wasn't mentioning is the final filter. Okay, here, this is the final filter. Obviously, that the place of the final filter is the, let's say, on the middle part. Okay, so just take into account that you, as I was saying before, the three parts. This goes here. Now, what I would like to say, and what I would like to highlight from this, let's say, always from a maintenance point of view, is that the final filter should be put after some time that the filter is going on, that the filter is working. Why? Because the cartridges work better if they have some dust on the surface. So when you let's say you put the filter going on, if you have to put the final filter, you should start it and then wait, for instance, 5, 10, 15 minutes, so that the cartridges get that, let's say, layer of dust that lets the cartridges work properly. So after that, and only after that, you should put the final filter, because if you put it before, you can have okay, you can have some video problems. Okay, but anyway, if you hear me, I can anyway keep talking. Okay, so as I was saying, the final filter should be placed only after the filter is working a little, because otherwise, if the cartridges are not working properly, they let the dust, which can damage the final filter, because obviously the final filter needs to work only on those fine particles that is the aim of the final filter. But if the cartridges are not working properly, obviously the final filter will receive also those particles that shouldn't be receiving. So you can have problems in terms of obviously of the performance and of the life of the final filter. So basically this is what should be aware when doing let's say from a maintenance point of view. So these are the key points, and I think that now we can leave the space and you can leave. Okay, technical problems again. Some video today you will see me sometimes and sometimes not. Maybe I don't know if you, okay, now you should see me. And okay, so basically I think that I said all the key points in terms of components, in terms of basic things to be aware of and to be taken care of. Sorry. So I think I can leave the room to some questions. If there are some questions or some FAQ, okay. So just again, if you have to ask something, write down on the chat, and I ask my colleague Martina to please read it up for us.
Okay, so at the moment we don't have questions, but we will give time to our guests to think about some questions, and think they would like to know or a question to ask. And in the meantime, maybe we can go through some of the most frequently asked questions, the question we received the most. So, for instance, how often do someone need to check the pipes?
Yes, let's say you're right. I didn't mention any timing and any kind of things in terms of the life of the filter. Let's say that let's start from the beginning. But I think that you don't see me, but
We hear you.
Okay, so let's do one thing. I keep talking even if you don't see me. If you don't hear me, just write on the chat and just do something to give me a hint that you're not hearing me. So sorry again. Here now you should see me. Now as I was saying, I didn't mention nothing about timing, about how often you should do maintenance. Now let's say that I start from, I take a step back. Let's say that from this point of view, for the point of view of the life of the filter, it's key, it's really important and fundamental to do all the study and all this sizing before installing the filter. So the key point is to understand and to use the correct way, you use the correct type of filter in terms of airflow, in terms of pressure, so understand all the pressure drops. And obviously, I keep going, but because I think they hear me, so I keep going. So
Yes.
okay. And obviously regarding also the type of the cartridges, because I didn't mention that obviously you are aware of it, but the cartridges, you can have different kind of cartridges. So we have cellulose, we have polyester, anti-static polyester, and so according to the type of dust is fundamental to choose the correct material. Once you have done all of these activities correctly and properly, we can say that a dust collector can last quite long. We can also say that we are also in the region of 1 year. So we can say that 1 year is the correct amount of time in terms of the lifetime of a filter. But I repeat, everything in terms of projecting, choosing, everything should be done correctly. Okay. So this is more or less the idea of the timing of the life of a filter. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we're starting to receive questions. So I will go through the ones we've gotten from our clients. So can you please point out something about the post cleaning?
Okay, the post cleaning.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if Sarah, do you hear me? Sarah, do you hear us? No. Okay. Okay. I would like to ask and to Saverio, to Paolo if he's connected. Okay, Saverio is not working. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Maybe it is preferable if I speak. I don't know.
Yes. Speak, Paolo, please,
okay.
please.
Okay. Post cleaning. It is very important because when you don't have centrifugal fan on, the cartridge has the maximal efficiency to be cleaned. So when you switch off the centrifugal fan, our electrical panel and our electronic device manage post-cleaning cycles and times. This is increase a lot the lifetime of a cartridge because airflow does not keep dust suspended in the middle of the filter. So it is another service that our electronic device can manage and can give to customer.
Thank you, Paolo. Thanks.
So another question is: are any of the filters washable?
They can be regenerated. The cartridges, yes, can be, let's say, regenerated. Okay. It can be done even in a dry way or in a wet way, but obviously it needs to be very well considered. Okay, so yes, it is possible. The answer is yes, it is possible.
Okay, so how much time do you need to let the final filter stay off before you can change the cartridges?
Sorry, how much?
How much time do you need to let the filter stay off before you can change the cartridges?
Well, I think that it's referring what I was saying before, that you should keep the final filter off, let's say 10 or 15 minutes, so that when you have to change cartridges, you take the final filters off, of course, you change cartridges, you put the new cartridges, and with the final filter not mounted, you start again the filter, you let the filter work for some times, which let's say 10-15 minutes is enough. Okay, so from 10 to 15 minutes, you have the cartridges that can start working properly. So you have that dust that I was saying before can help the cartridges work better, and after the time you can mount back the final filter. So the idea they can give you in terms of timing is 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. So there's another question regarding the installed power. So the question is the ventilator the same as the standard version when you install a final filter? So when there is a final filter, the ventilator is the same as the standard version, or do you need another kind of ventilator, a more powerful one?
Okay, I didn't hear very well the question. I don't know if somebody of my colleagues can help me.
Yes,
because we are having problems for connections also. Sorry, but today you have to be sorry for that.
Can you hear me, Gianni?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay, so I repeat the last question, and it was about the installed power on the filter. So if you install a final filter, do the ventilator has the same power, or do you need to have a more powerful ventilator?
Okay. Also, I asked Paolo if you can.
Yes. Ciao, Urki. I saw that the question is yours. It depends, Urki. It depends because the static pressure of the fan, it is used not only for EPA, but also for circuit, you know, the catching line. So normally it does not need to be changed centrifugal fan from standard version to another one if you add EPA filter. Normally, because the clogging status of cartridges plus EPA, it is included in the static pressure of the fan. But it depends from application, so involve us.
Okay, I hope you heard everything.
And I saw also a question from Luca. Ciao, Luca, also to you. There is a microdoser of calcium. You need to change often the filter. The microdoser of calcium can be useful in some application to inertize some pollutant or to help and to make continuous pre-coating of cartridge. So this, what does it mean? That calcium catch particles away from cartridges. So if the microdoser of calcium, it is properly installed in the application, it increases the lifetime of cartridges, not decrease. Of course, if we make a wrong installation of microdoser of calcium, we clogged anticipately the cartridges. So.
Gianni, can you hear us?
Yes, now here, yes.
Okay. So there are other questions. After a small fire or incident, what do you need to check in the filter and how?
Okay. Again, Paolo, can you answer the question, please?
Of course. Small fire or a huge fire, Victor, it depends. So the first things, we must be sure that everything is extinguished, everything is switched off, and we need to check. when you have an increasing of temperature inside the filter, problem can be occurred in textile, pneumatical, and electrical part of the filter. So you need to check the cleaning system, because it is connected by a pneumatical point of view, because there are PVC parts on the solenoid valve. You need to check cartridges status. You need to check if the electrical motor has taken a heat increase very high, which has liquefy the isolation. So after a fire course, I strongly suggest to involve us and to make a check also by web meeting. So you can go to your customer and use Skype or use WhatsApp, and we check together. The status.
Are there any other questions? No. So I will ask you, Gianni, another question that we received open. So what would you need to do when water enters the filter, for instance, for an outdoor installation?
Okay. So I think I got it, the question. Let's say that if we speak about water, I guess that we are talking of an outside installation. Okay. Now I think you see me. Okay. Of an outside installation. Now the thing is that, as you know, the filter works thanks to a depression. Okay. So when working properly with the depression, it's not easy. I would say it's really unlikely that water can go inside the filter. So what happens that all here, everything is sealed because, of course, thanks and due to the depression which is inside, water shouldn't be going inside the filter. But obviously, when it's not working, it might happen that some water can come inside. So what we suggest is that for an outside use of the filter, you should cover the filter, okay? So you should at least give some protection in this sense, okay? So the basic principle is that working in depression inside, water shouldn't be leaking inside, okay? But anyway, if it's an outdoor environment, if it's an outdoor installation, you should providing something to cover the filter.
Okay. So
I would like to say something. Hello, I'm Romeo. I would like to say something about that. In case there is a water inside, turn on the ventilator, and thanks the air is like a dryer, and the dust collector become dry one more time. Turn on the blower.
Gianni, we have one last question, and they are asking us which is the lifetime of the cartridges roughly. So when do they need to be replaced?
Yes, it was actually more or less what I was saying before. If the filter is chosen correctly and everything is done correctly, and so what I was saying before, I'm not going to repeat it because of timing, but more or less we can say that 1 year it's a reasonable lifetime for a filter, for a cartridge of this kind of filter. Okay.
Okay. So there are no more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let's do. First of all, I'm summing up. I'm concluding this webinar again. Sorry for all the technical problems, but today it was a really we are experiencing a lot of problems in terms of internet connection. So again, sorry, and I hope that anyway we have given enough information and good information to you. Anyway, again, sorry for all the technical small technical problems, but this happens, you know. So now, what I want, yes, of course, it's the Wi-Fi, it's the wireless, it's the Wi-Fi, which is the provider of Wi-Fi provider, which is not giving us a good service, let's say. But anyway, let's keep the problems behind, and let's look at what is in front of us. Now, I invite you, I will give you a little spoiler now, but I invite you next week to take part to our next webinar, because next week we are going to launch and present our new device that we have created in this period of time, which we believe it will be really useful, which is the fog sanitizer, okay, the fog nebulizer. So stay tuned, and on Tuesday we will be launching this new device. I hope you can take part and you will be there looking for participating in our new webinar. So stay tuned, follow us on social media, and thanks again. Sorry, but thanks again, and have a nice day. Proud to be a chef. Bye.